I'm not sure when we'll have AI that can have that or have an empathetic conversation. So I think we have to be careful of what's called the Gartner hype cycle, where you get all excited about something and its original, when the original implications come out.
Like the concept is here, then people get overly hyped about it.
And then you go into what's called the trough of disappointment, right? You just, oh my God, it's not really all I thought it was going to be.
Welcome to Bricks and Risk.
Sean and I just entered the Triple Play Real Estate Convention, Atlantic City, New Jersey. We stopped by the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors booth right here in the convention as you walk in. We're talking right now with Bill Lublin. Bill is currently with Century 21.
I'm the CEO of Century 21 Advantage Gold, which is Pennsylvania's largest Century 21 firm.
Awesome. And then Bill is also the outgoing president of the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors. So I'm Tim Garrity.
I'm Sean Mooney.
And I'm Bill Lublin, just in case you were confused.
Which one's which?
So, all right. So, Bill, here's a question. Why choose to be involved with PAR in such an important role? Like, what made you want to, become the president of PAR?
It's more than being involved just at PAR. So every state association is comprised of local associations. We have 10 districts with 37 local associations in Pennsylvania. And there are 54 state and territorial associations that comprise NAR. And as a result, our work allows us to provide advocacy at the local, state, and national level that helps home buyers, home sellers, investors, developers, and industry professionals do their job in the best way possible to keep the economy moving.
Awesome. Now, here's another question. So I get this a lot. I'm sure you've been doing this over 40 years. So sometimes people just call us when we have a real estate license. They call us realtors. You're a realtor. I'm a realtor. But there's a difference. There's a difference between having a real estate license, being a real estate salesperson in Pennsylvania or a broker, and being a realtor. So talk to the audience a little bit about what it means to actually be a realtor.
So being a realtor means that you hold yourself accountable to a code of ethics. It means that you are dedicated to the industry as a professional industry, not just as a job or a business. So it elevates the practice. Most of the tremendous education opportunities in our country for real estate professionals were developed by realtors.
Yeah.
Even the amortized mortgage was supported through Congress in the 1930s by realtors.
Wow.
So many of the, and just last year, we had a tremendous bill passed in Pennsylvania, which made sure that wholesalers were licensed to provide protection for consumers
I thought that was fantastic.
who were underserved and underprotected. And that's because we were realtors, because we work together to influence the industry in positive manners.
Fantastic. There's been a lot of change in the marketplace in the last year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What do you see as maybe one topic or one agenda item that might be of note for 2026?
Look, I think that the biggest problem that consumers face is the concept that let's wait and things will get better.
Yep.
Right. So you know how you cook a lobster, right? You put the lobster in a pot of room temperature water and you turn the heat up, and the lobster doesn't realize that he's being cooked until he's done being cooked.
Yep.
Consumers that wait to buy real estate are kind of in that situation. They are concerned that prices are going to come down.
Yep.
I don't see we have a demand that way outweighs our supply nationally. So I don't see prices coming down, because when demand exceeds supply, value goes up. They talk about waiting for interest rates to go down, but interest rates are actually relatively moderate. During the majority of my real estate career, if you were at 6%, between 6 and 7, you were really happy.
Yeah, you were winning.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
And there are only three things interest rates can do, right? They go up, so no matter what your rate is, you're a genius. They stay the same no matter what happens. Again, you're a genius because you locked in your price.
Right.
And if rates go down, then you can determine whether the arithmetic works to refinance.
Yep.
So there's an old saw in real estate that it's better to buy real estate and wait than it is to wait and buy real estate.
Yeah, so I started out my real estate journey in the mortgage business. I was telling you about my dad, John Garrity, and I was working alongside him, and people used to say that all the time. Don't wait to buy real estate and wait. And there's a lot of reasons people need to buy real estate, and sometimes it really has nothing to do with the market. You know, you're getting married, or you're thinking of starting a family, or you're downsizing, or you're relocating for a job, or you know, whatever it is. Unfortunately, people pass away, people get divorced. Like, these are reasons why people buy and sell real estate. And I think when things are happening in your life, that's always a great reason to buy a real estate. If you know you're going to be committing to something. The one thing I used to always say, and we say it on the show all the time, I work with first-time home buyers, and one of the first things I tell them is that, you know, if you're looking to buy this house, my upfront advice to you is you want to be the owner for somewhere around 7 to 10 years. And here's why. You want to realize some price appreciation. You want to pay down some of your principal balance. You want the tax benefits. You know, you want to make it your home. You want to feel stable, secure. And then if you only want to stay for 2 years, that's fine. Have it as a rental for 6 or 7. And if you do that, then you'll really realize the benefits of wealth building in real estate. Because the number one thing that happens to real estate is time. Over time, good things happen with real estate. You can probably relate to this. Like, when people are only like a year or two in, and they're like, I want to sell. You're like, well, you had closing costs and like you barely paid back any principal.
Well, it's arithmetic, right? So it makes,
great way to put it.
There are some times where you can do that depending on how you bought. And again, to your point, depending on what life event is moving you forward.
Yep.
Right. So I'm with you. Birth, death, marriage, and divorce are the 4 big movers, especially in a marketplace like southeastern Pennsylvania and South Jersey, which are relatively modest prices in comparison with Los Angeles or New York or DC, which are, you know, super markets, right? They have outside influences like Wall Street or the government or Hollywood that push their prices through the roof.
Yep.
But in our world, to your point, 100% correct. And the funny thing is, even if you're an investor, time works on your side if you're thoughtful, because you buy a less expensive area, perhaps in a higher risk area, and you hold on to it for a period of time. The area becomes gentrified, and all of a sudden you're a real estate investment genius. Right. The properties have risen. I've made more money by accident as an investor because of that type of thing happening in Philadelphia than I ever could have planning on where that was going to happen, because you get surprised what works in one decade, the next, and the next.
Yeah.
So to your point, time is absolutely on the side of the buyer, not so much on the renter. I love people that rent. I own a number of rental properties.
As do I.
But I believe that everybody who has a periodic housing expense is paying somebody's mortgage. So why not pay your own? And by the way, please don't share this with my tenants.
Right.
No, I'm actually just kidding. And in many cases, you know, my tenants are moving out to buy their first home. And I'm thrilled because there's always somebody else to come in and pick up that rent.
Nice.
One of the hot topics that we've talked about on the show is artificial intelligence. The question is, when will artificial intelligence replace the realtor?
That was a great question.
Well, it's kind of like, when did you stop beating your wife question, right?
Very accurate.
Right. Personally, I don't believe that artificial intelligence is going to replace the realtor.
I do not believe that either.
Right. We're in a business of relationships.
Yep.
So I believe that there is data, knowledge, and wisdom in what we do in life, just in general. And, you know, data now everybody has, right? Everybody has access to a tremendous amount of information, including Grok and Gemini and, you know, Copilot and all of the artificial intelligences. But knowledge is data put into context. So even the newest agent is able to take the data that a consumer looks at and sees a value and the size of the home and a condition of the home, and they go, wow, that's really great. but the agent has knowledge that tempers that and says, well, the reason it's so much is because it's 75 miles to the nearest hospital.
Yep.
It's 104 miles to elementary school. It's very, very isolating. When you have exercised that knowledge over a period of time, and you can temper knowledge with experience, then you have wisdom. And over a period of time, like your dad had wisdom about mortgages.
Yep.
Right? You have wisdom about insurance. You have wisdom about developing. Yep. But you didn't get it for free, and you didn't get it from large language models.
Yep.
I think AI was one of the great sixers. I'm sorry. I had to do that.
He was.
No, I didn't. Right. I think artificial intelligence is an incredible tool. I think when agents or consumers rely on artificial intelligence, they cheat themselves, because we're not in a place yet where it's completely reliable. Artificial intelligence hallucinates, which means it comes to inaccurate conclusions. You're seeing on some of your stuff, you should be seeing, if you're using AI tools, don't rely on this.
Yep.
Please double check this. Make sure the information's correct.
May not be wholly accurate.
Right. I used AI to generate a biography for myself because I speak internationally, and sometimes I get bored writing about myself.
Yeah.
And I was different people. Like, I was people that did stuff that I never did, and then I was me, and I was happy to claim this stuff that I did.
Yep.
So
maybe you can put that disclosure at the bottom when you have false biography.
I'm a big believer in critical thinking, so I think that disclosure should go on everything. Yeah. So I think AI, like social media, like the computerized MLS, every technological advance that we've seen, and I mentor prop tech and fintech companies.
Yeah, wow.
So the applications there, it's going to make things smoother and easier. But I think for agents, they shouldn't abdicate creating content. I use AI this way. I will write something, and after I have written it, I'll go to Grammarly, and it'll tell me I'm a comma abuser. I put in too many or not enough. Yeah. It'll shorten words because I like big words. I cannot lie, and therefore, it will help sometimes make my writing cleaner.
Yeah.
Or shorten something that I was saying. Yeah. So there are really great applications for AI, but we use it with some spreadsheets. Show me graphically which offices are sending what kind of emails and what the response and click-through rate is, so that we can judge the efficacy of our marketing efforts. So in that basis, they're great. But I don't think, if I know your needs and we're working together, I'm not sure the large language model is going to empathize or know when the husband or wife don't really feel that way, but they're going along with their spouse.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite story about that was a couple that had come to me many years ago, and they wanted to buy a 2-family in Northeast Philadelphia. And I showed them every 2-family that was available on the market, all of which suited their needs, and they just never bought it. The wife didn't want to live in a 2-family, but the husband was on this journey, and she wanted to be supportive. Okay. I showed them one semi-detached home near Castor and Cotman. They bought it right away.
Right away.
Because she was in.
She was the decision maker.
Yeah. Right. Well, it wasn't that she was a decision maker. She was the roadblock. That she really wanted to support him. Yep. And once the roadblock was removed, they were able to move forward.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure when we'll have AI that can have that or have an empathetic conversation. So I think we have to be careful of what's called the Gartner hype cycle, where you get all excited about something and its original when the original implications come out,
like the concept is here, then people get overly hyped about
it, and then you go into what's called the trough of disappointment, right? You just, oh my God, it's not really all I thought it was going to be, and then eventually it comes back to being useful.
Yeah,
QR codes is a great example of that.
True.
2008, everybody thought we were going to start using QR codes for everything, but it took the pandemic to actually make the QR code useful, because people now needed to go to restaurants and not touch menus. I don't have a QR code. They can show you theirs. I can generate a QR code, but I wasn't prepared, just as I'm underdressed for the event today.
That is true.
Right?
You didn't get the memo.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Though I'd have the PAR logo all over everything, it would be good. And at least I'm in Realtor Blue.
Yeah, I love
So
it.
I got that going on.
All right, let me shift a little bit. I want to focus a little bit more on your story and like your experience. You've been doing this a while.
Yeah.
You are the CEO. Does that make you an owner as well of Century 21 Advantage Gold? Okay. So there's plenty of people in our business, they own their business. They have a book of business. They have clients they're doing for 5 years or 25 years. They have a small business. That's what agents are. They're kind of small businesses on their own. Now, Ish. Now you run a brokerage.
Right.
So you have staff, you have agents. What made you want to be a brokerage owner and stick with that for the decades that you have?
What made me want to be a brokerage owner? I don't know. Perhaps it was a bad decision. What made me want to become a brokerage owner was you want to build larger businesses.
Yeah.
Right. So there are different ways to do that. I'm a real fan of a traditional brokerage model.
Yep.
Where the brokerage ensures compliance, provides tools and support. Very big on training people, big on taking people from this level to this level. Because I believe that nobody makes a lot of money in real estate if they don't sell a lot of real estate, and that a good company should help you go from point A to point B. So the example might be, it might take you 14 minutes to walk a mile, might take you 10 minutes to bike a mile, might take you a minute to drive a mile in a car. I perceive myself as the bike or the car. We're the fuel for somebody's business to help them make more money, because the individual practitioner that you talk about as a small business owner, really what they want is the greatest compensation they can get. They want to make, like we all want to make the most money we can make for the work that we do.
Yep.
So that's why I do that. And I enjoy it. We have great retention with our agents. We have great relationships with our agents. They are an extended work family. So that's why.
Is that one of the harder things you find as being a brokerage owner, is the retention part of the business?
Well, I think people in general don't always think as critically. I'm going to go back to critical thinking. In terms of brokerage businesses, we interview agents that work for companies that tell them that the world is going to work this way.
Yeah.
And when they get there, and really, like, everybody's business model is great. I'm in favor of all of them. I'm just telling you why I like dark chocolate instead of milk chocolate.
Yeah.
But I think whatever it is you're doing, you really need to analyze what the result is in that business model. Is it really going to get you to the end of that mile faster? And sometimes people react emotionally. Sometimes their friend tries something or they hear a number. When I started in the business, every brokerage was a 50-50 split with the agent. And then business models came out that we're going to give you 100%, but it was 100% of gross rather than 100% of net. For some people, that's fine. They can manage their money. They're able to keep their expenses down. For other people that aren't paying attention, it's not the greatest model.
Yeah.
So every size and type of business isn't great for everybody, but luckily in our business, we have lots and lots of competitors and lots of different business models, and you can try things until you find something that works for you. But I think when you're a broker, you always have to be reinforcing the value of what you provide, whatever that thing is, right? And so that, I hope that answers that for retention question, but we have to have a high retention rate. So I don't see it as a problem.
Is that a Bill? Is that because of Bill, or is that the office, or
It's because of the whole. It's because of the whole culture. It really is.
System you have.
Right. We have a problem. Everybody's there to help and to reach out, and there are people that really flourish in that.
Yeah, it's like a community.
and you don't get that everywhere.
No. You don't.
really don't.
You know, everybody tries, and what do they say? Many are called, few are chosen.
Yeah.
Right. So,
All right, so we're going to fire one more at you before we shut this one down.
okay.
Okay, so we're at the Triple Play Realtors Convention. So we were talking earlier, I started out in the mortgage business. This was like 2002. So I've been in the industry about, 23, 24 years. And I was coming down to Triple Play when I first started out in the mortgage industry. Why should someone consider, if you're in real estate or one of the ancillary businesses, why should someone consider Triple Play as a good event if they've never been here?
There's so many reasons. So Triple Play is the annual convention for the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors, the New York Association of Realtors, and the New Jersey Association of Realtors. So the networking is just off the charts. Yeah. It really is. You're meeting brokers that have friends in your state or marketplace that you never met that you can meet here. Secondly, we have a tremendous lineup of education. And it's funny because New Jersey and Pennsylvania alternate their CE years. Yeah. So one year there's more Pennsylvania agents here because you get free CE.
You're like odd years and even years.
Right. So you can come here, and in 3 days you can network. You can come to the trade expo. You can meet your state leadership. You can meet the staff for state. You can visit a number of interesting vendors. I mean, there are hundreds of people here selling things that are tools for agents and ways to build their business. And of course, you can knock out all your CE in like 3 days.
Yeah.
Very, very inexpensively. And there are icebreaker parties that are networking events.
Yep.
It's just a tremendous, tremendous thing. And then we'll have a company dinner tonight. So we're going to have a group of our agents.
You're bringing your team together.
Right. And they share what they're seeing, what they're finding.
Yep.
I think it's, and it's, the nice thing about Triple Play is it's a colder time of year.
Yeah.
It might be a slower time where you can grab a couple of days. You're planning for your next year. It's a great place to look for the tools and systems and education to help you make that planning thoughtful and crank up that critical thinking.
Love it.
Which is like my tag word today. I don't know.
Oh, I love it. All right, cool. So before we shut this one down, Bill, why don't you tell our watchers and listeners at Bricks and Risk where they can learn more about you and everything you got going on?
You can go to c21ag.com. You can go to billlublin.com. And more importantly, you can go to parealtors.org and learn all about all of the things that Pennsylvania realtors have available for them because of the amazing staff and leadership team that we have in Pennsylvania.
Really appreciate your time today.
It was a pleasure.
You know you're a busy guy.
Thank you, Bill.
You guys are a hoot and a holler.
We're trying.
I don't know which one's the hoot and which one's the holler, but you guys can.
I'm going to say he's the hoot.
Okay. You're the hoot, you're the holler? Yeah. Well, you did have the suit first.
Right.
So that's kind of fair.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
When you're up in the Northeast in the world or you're visiting your wife, call me.
Yeah. Well,
I'm easy to find.
We'll look you.
Okay. And I might even buy you lunch. Not promising.
Right.
But Steve's is there.
Nothing fancy.
Right.
You guys like croutons, right? As we'll just have some of that.
So all right, guys. Thank you again. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.